Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 12 of OGP. After an extended holiday hiatus, we are back to talk about 2023 a bit, our favorite games of 2023 in particular, I suppose. I'm joined here by Jordan.
Hello, I'm back.
Jordan's back. How you doing, Jordan? It's been a while.
Doing pretty good. I think we've both been pretty busy, so we're glad to be back.
Yep. And I'm happy to talk about some really good games that released this year. I think I have 5 that I wrote down and a couple honorable mentions. So I guess we can just jump right into it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go from my most favorite of the year to my least. This might surprise you.
Okay.
This might surprise you. You're ready to be surprised.
We'll see.
Mario RPG. I think that was my favorite game of the year.
I can't say I'm too surprised, actually.
Really? Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I think the competition was fairly stiff, but this was just such a spot-on remake, and it just reminded me how much I loved the original game, and is now definitely the best way to play it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not flawless. There are some frame rate inconsistencies that pop up that did actually, and I guess I'm a little like, what you would call it, that stuff sticks out to me a lot more. But the visuals are just so good. They're probably some of the best on the Switch. The gameplay is like spot on. I really love the addition of the perfect block, which it really changes the game from. If you wanted to consider the original version a more traditional RPG, now that this is much more like an action game now, even than the original was. I just love it, and the story's great, and I don't know what else to say. I love the post-game stuff.
Yeah,
the post-game stuff was really cool.
Post-game stuff.
Yeah, very unique, remixed kind of battles that are like taking the gameplay mechanics and presenting them in like a ROM hack kind of style almost.
Which I thought was pretty cool, honestly.
Oh yeah, I loved that. I loved all that. Did Mario RPG make your list?
Yeah.
Jordan?
Yeah.
What were your overall opinions? Was it your favorite of the year too?
It wasn't. I'd say of the admittedly only 6 new games that I played last year. I'd say it's about in the middle.
Sure.
Because it was very good. It was also my first time actually playing through the game.
Wait, really? You'd not played the
original? No, I never played the original. I admit, I think I started it a few times, but something else had always pulled me away.
Yeah.
But it was fun to finally actually go through the adventure for the first time.
I think it'd be very interesting to return to the SNES version, given the new improvements that have been made to the quality of life stuff.
I was kind of thinking about it.
And occasionally I see screenshots from the Super Nintendo version. I'm like, I do not remember it looking that bad.
Right.
It looks kind of rough, actually, because the color depth is just so low comparatively. You know?
Because the remake is a lot more from compared to screenshots. It looks like a lot more brighter and
it's brighter. The shading can be more accurate. They were trying to do some pretty technically advanced things on Super Nintendo with that game. They got the SA1 chip working overtime to bring those visuals, but it's really night and day. I don't think I can go back.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but I think I was at least thinking about it, going back at some point to go through the original.
I think it'd be really fun to play the Switch version with the Super Nintendo controller that they had for Switch Online
to see how well
best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Mario RPG, good game. What do you got?
I think for my favorite one, it might be Pikmin 4.
That's my second.
Yeah,
that's the second one on my list.
I figured that was gonna be pretty high.
I loved Pikmin 4. This was much like Mario RPG. This was just my life for
absolutely
however long I was playing it.
Yeah, I pretty much no liked it as well.
It is so good. I guess you would call it the post game. This is another guy. 100% at this one.
Oh yeah, same. Well, minus the extra extra cave stuff, or as well as the time trial. I wasn't doing any of the time trials.
I did all that.
I know you did, but I can't. It's not in me.
Much like I think all the Pikmin games pretty much this year, I 100%ed.
Oh yeah,
more or less. There's some challenge mode stuff that I didn't touch necessarily, but. It was the year of Pikmin almost for me, and Pikmin 4 might have been the crowning jewel of that franchise now.
3 of the 4 were released on Switch this year.
Yeah, and they're all on Switch now, except for the 3DS.
Yeah,
thing,
and then Pikmin Bloom, but that's a mobile game anyways.
Yep. There was also Pikmin Finder. I don't know if you messed around with that.
That was
was kind of funny.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I ever really messed with it much.
So this is a complete detour, but I just want to bring this up.
It's still tangentially related.
It was like an AR Pikmin thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you send off the Pikmin, and they bring something back. But like, the final item is like, I think like a huge watermelon or something. It's like something gigantic.
Yeah.
My phone literally started getting hot.
Yeah, you're like oh no.
It was warm to the touch. I'm like, okay, this is too much Pikmin now. Like, good God.
The Pikmin have gone too far.
Yeah, but I loved Pikmin 4. I thought the challenge was right there, especially the later stuff. If you want to go for getting all the time trial stuff, it's white knuckle difficulty.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna kick your ass if you try to get everything in there. I saw that. I'm like, I'll try it. I'm probably not gonna get golden like anything. I think I got golden like some of the early stuff, but like later stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, the thing that helped too maybe was the demo that they put out. Kind of a rarity for Nintendo to put out a demo that was so substantial. And we talked about this on the show
in a while
back when it released, but just being able to get directly into the game and get to the good stuff,
right?
Which is right after that demo is when some of the really fun stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
I just loved it, and I was really hoping we would get some DLC, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
even challenge maps I would be happy with because I think they were well designed in this one.
Maybe they'll just do maybe they'll just make Pikmin 5
Pikmin
sooner.
5 is right around the corner. I think Miyamoto's already said something like you won't have to wait too long for Pikmin 5. I'm like, just don't.
Spoiler alert for looking at it this year. It's literally coming out this year. No, it's not. I wish. It'd be hilarious.
Really good one. The next game on my list is Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
I'd say that's probably going to be the next one on my list too, honestly.
I guess the theme is just like games that engrossed me so much that I just could not put them down until they were complete.
Oh, absolutely.
Mario RPG was that way. And in my mind, I'm almost wondering if I want to switch Pikmin and Mario RPG just because as much as I did love Mario RPG, it was on the shorter side.
Yeah.
Which is a strength of it. But Pikmin 4 was quite a long game, and it still kept my attention for so long. I don't know. I'll have to juggle that in my head a little bit. But Mario Wonder, again, just completely engrossed all the way through that final level, which is a nightmare.
I'm like, we've talked about it at length before,
yes.
But dear God.
Oh man. What a wonderful way to bring back 2D Mario after all this time. And I don't know, like, I think something that I'm realizing looking at this list is like so many great games that I just wish had got more added to them. Mario Wonder is a perfect candidate for either a direct sequel or DLC because the Wonder mechanics are just allow for so much creativity.
Yeah, I definitely want to see like more weird stuff they can come up with.
Absolutely. Again, it's hard to say too much more about it because, like Pikmin 4, we've spent an entire episode in the past of the show discussing these games. But yeah, this is a wonderful game. I loved it. Anything else to add on that?
Not really. We've talked about it at length before. I don't think we need to go too much over it again, but it's very good. If you haven't played it, first of all, what are you doing? Go get it.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, did we ever tell the story of how we got kicked out of a GameStop for trying to play the Mario Wonder demo?
I think we talked about it, but we never actually got around to actually telling it on here.
Okay, I guess let's take a moment and discuss that because this episode is blowing right by.
Yeah,
let's take a detour.
Yeah. It's tangentially related.
So Pikmin 4 got the demo on the eShop. I think we were all desperately hoping that Mario Wonder would get one, but it didn't. So Jordan and I took a pilgrimage to the nearest GameStop that had like a kiosk. And we go in there, and I think we played the game for not even like 5 minutes before the guy's like, I can't have you loitering around here. You're driving down the numbers of this store.
Like I don't think we were even in there for like 10 minutes total.
No, not at all. And we were already getting this like the speech about how this man's like losing his job.
We're like ruining the store. It's like
GameStop.
It's like, bro, like give us like 5 minutes. We just want to try out the demo. Like, you'll be fine,
buddy. GameStop's got way bigger issues than us playing the Mario Wonder demo
in this one particular store.
But it was fun though, and it did. That was when I'm like, okay, I think that this game is going to be pretty good. It was also interesting too, just the way that demo was structured because as I was playing through it, I realized that there's a lot of late game levels in that demo. Like the cave level doesn't show up to like World 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I feel
kind
like
of noticed that.
that was surprising. But yeah, overall a good experience, but it was just kind of funny.
a weird but good experience.
Right. What's your next one?
Might surprise you actually. My number 4 would probably be the Like a Dragon Ishin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
cool.
haven't finished it yet. Because there's a lot to the game, but it's a lot of fun. It's really cool because like you can go into this one without knowing anything out of the other ones because it's set in the 1800s.
Okay.
Because I think it's you follow as a character who's I don't remember exactly what his original name. Well, I can't remember his original name, but all the models are based off like different like Yakuza characters.
Okay.
Where your main character is still like Kiryu, but he plays like a different name basically. And like all the other characters, like both good and bad, are for the most part modeled after like other Yakuza like franchise characters.
Gotcha.
So as you could probably imagine, by it being 1800s, you know you're a Ronin or you're samurai. You end up become part of the Shinsengumi, which is like a big like organization I think under the shogunate, I believe, remember correctly. I don't know though. I don't remember the entire historical context.
Sure.
But the premise is it's like your like adopted dad was killed by a mysterious man that was part of the group, so you have to join it and figure out who it was that killed him.
Okay.
There's a lot of very typical Yakuza action, like going like helping out people all around the towns. Weird stuff always happens in sub stories, which is like always a joy. Weird mini games, like there's a whole like chicken racing like mini game you can do. Like it's just betting on it what chicken's gonna win.
Isn't that in Shenmue as well?
Probably.
Shenmue 3.
I wouldn't be surprised, but it's
Is this the Shenmue 3 of the Yakuza series?
No, that would be. That actually might be. Yeah, I don't know which one would be the Shenmue 3 of the Yakuza franchise.
It's worrying that you could make a comparison
I'm
there. One of the biggest disappointments in gaming history.
I mean, maybe Dead Souls, but even then, that's a non-canon spin-off. So I don't think there's really any because they all contribute to like the main story.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you know that Shenmue 3, you could literally skip that and like say there's a potential Shenmue 4. You could skip 3.
Not going to be a Shenmue 4.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying like hypothetically speaking,
Yeah.
you could skip 3 and probably not lose anything in the story,
Right.
which is disappointing as all hell. But Ishin's a lot of fun. I think they went back to Unreal Engine. I don't think they were using the Dragon Engine for it, which is
Okay.
why. Because I think the original, because it's a remake of a game that was also on PS4. It was like very early PS4 though. I think that one was also using Unreal Engine, if I remember correctly, which is probably why. I don't know. I think that was also using the earlier Dragon Engine. I don't. Either way, it's a lot of fun. But I'm definitely looking more forward to Infinite Wealth right now, though.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it sounds cool. I actually didn't know about this Yakuza. I thought when you said, Like a Dragon, I thought it was the new one that just came out.
No, it's because they're shifting over to the original Japanese name now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which because they basically started it with 7 because that's why they named it like Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then then it kind of shifted over with Ishin. They fully used the name as well as with Gaiden that came out, which is unfortunately not on my list because I've not played it yet because I'm still waiting on my physical copy to come.
Gotcha. Sounds very cool though. I love the idea of taking that series and putting it in like a more historical context.
I know there was one that was released in the PS3, which they have not remade yet, be called Kenzan, which is I think it's like in like the either 13 or 1500s, which is even earlier.
Oh yeah.
Which I kind of hope they remake that next.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that one of these games releases on a Nintendo console someday, so I can play
Hopefully.
Because God knows I probably will not unless it does. Moving on, this one's more of a minor thing. Have we talked? I think Mario RPG might be the only game on my list we haven't talked about previously. I guess we'll see. But F-Zero 99.
I think we talked about it a decent amount. Yeah.
I've sung my praises of this before, so I don't know how much there is to say again. It just ate up a lot of my time. It was a great concept. Unfortunately, it makes my list, but unfortunately, I haven't felt that same urge to really return to it, even though it is getting some interesting updates.
Yeah. I
know there's a couple modes that I would like to try out if I get the chance. They had like a Christmas themed event where all the tracks were icy.
Oh, that's kind of
I
cool.
love that idea.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and I just need a reason to dive back into it. And I think that might happen if we get new tracks.
Right.
Along the lines of those, we're talking about the Satellaview tracks.
That would be
being added
really
in.
cool. I haven't really played it much since it came out personally.
Sure.
Because, like, I've never been, like, the hugest F-Zero fan. Not that I'm saying they're bad, just, like, that's not really been my kind of style. But I'd like to see, like, them continually get, like, updating it and, like, cause actually supporting it as well.
Absolutely. Yep. So, I still think it's the best 99 game since Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
It works really well. Like the game. That's all I got to say about that.
That's fair, yeah.
Do you have another one?
I mean,
Is that it?
this is like the fifth one on my list then.
Okay.
Being Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, that's the same as my fifth one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I killed two birds with one stone. Have we talked about Tears of the Kingdom before on the podcast? I'm not sure.
I think... actually, I think we did.
Okay. So, this is good, though, because now we've had some time away from it.
Yeah.
And there is a reason why this made my list, but it's at the bottom of my list. Mm-hmm. And that's because, retrospectively, like, I just don't feel any desire to return to Tears of the Kingdom.
That's
I don't know
fair.
if you feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I kind of want to go back and like finish everything up, but I'm like I also haven't done that with Breath of the Wild.
Right, same thing happened with Breath of the Wild with me too. I mean, it was such a cool game though when it released, and I personally didn't find the reuse of the overworld to be much of an issue.
Yeah,
and I would often wander into spots that I did not recall at all from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's like there was enough change and like enough time had passed since I played Breath of the Wild where I'm like a lot of it still felt pretty fresh. Like I remembered some of the stuff like after when I got there, but like there was enough small changes where it's like, oh, this is like a new thing that they added.
Right.
So
and of course there's the whole underground.
Which
discovering that for the first time was a lot of fun.
Like I went down there, I saw that, I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I didn't even know anything about this. So it's like, I don't think they talk about it in any of the trailers.
No, not at all. The sky area, which is much less developed.
Yeah, which
overall.
is much sparser in comparison.
Was really the highlight of the early stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was maybe this will be a hard question, but was there like a moment you can think of? It was like a big surprise moment for this game for you.
Big surprise, like I think the first one was like this is more like just out in the overworld, like the hands.
That was what I was gonna say.
Like
when I first encountered that,
it came up. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, get me away from that! Do not come near me! Do not touch me!
That was shocking, and I think it's partially random how those show up.
Yeah, it's like I again hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Do not get anywhere near me. I don't know any part of this. Fuck off.
Was so. It like literally like almost made me jump when it happened.
Honestly, Sam, I'm like, get away from me. And then you defeat him and like the weird like Phantom Ganon thing shows up. I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, why is he here already? Like, I haven't done barely anything with this.
Yeah, that was oh man. Oh, and I also want to talk about the finale of the game, which I think was really great. Probably some of the more emotional Zelda stuff that they've ever done. I feel like there's like a really just incredible epic sort of.
Yeah, like kind of like the ending like final fight basically.
Yeah, super cool, and the combat still was fun. Overall, I feel like I know that Ionuma's kind of talked about not returning to traditional Zelda, but I wish that they would take some of the great stuff that they've learned over the course of making the Breath of the Wild games and apply that to a more traditional structure, because at the end of the day, it's stuff like the dungeons that just don't hold up all that well.
Yeah, especially because like they are all still. I mean, they're all different enough, but like they're still kind of samey.
Ultimately, it's like there are 5 things you need to do to unlock the boss room, and I think the closest to. It's weird, but like I distinctly remember that the Sand Temple had actual like keys to open doors, and I'm like, "Yay!" Like, why did that feel so exciting to me?
It's a
normal Zelda thing.
Yeah, it's like why was that there aren't any other like small keys? It's like that's like a big staple of the series.
Yeah.
Like it's like I want my small keys.
Right,
I want
exactly.
my small key. I want my big boss key. Like, give me my keys, damn it.
Progression. We're bringing back progression items of some sort would be
cool.
I mean, we could probably do a whole episode, maybe we should, about how we would design the next Zelda game.
Yeah.
But Tears of the Kingdom, it still is one of my favorite games of the year. It's just retrospectively, it doesn't hit that same high for me as when I was first playing it.
Right. I definitely feel the same.
Everything else on my list, I feel like I could return to from square one and get a big kick out of, but this one I just don't know if it'd be the same.
Yeah.
I got a couple honorable mentions. Are there any other things that you want to mention real quick?
I just have one honorable mention.
Shoot.
Which is the One Piece Odyssey, which I always forget also came out at the beginning of the year.
All right.
It's fine. It's a One Piece RPG.
Okay.
But it's very simplistic. Maybe even more so than Mario RPG.
Really?
Simplistic
Okay.
RPG. Yeah. I know there was DLC, which I just never really got around to playing.
Yeah.
I think it was more like, more boss stuff. I don't know if there's any like new additional like. Because a big draw of the game was like you go into like these different like recollections basically of like prior arcs. Because there's like Alabasta, Water 7, and like Water 7 Andy's Lobby, a brief Marineford, which is weird. He's like only Luffy was there in the original story, and like now everyone's there.
Gotcha.
But kind of like going through and like basically like regaining your powers as well, like from those time periods. It's a fine game. It's definitely not really for like first time enjoyers of the franchise. But I don't know if it's like enough of a hook for like longtime fans to really play it.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of in a weird middle ground.
Yeah, it's a weird like it's a fine game.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. On my end, I kind of already touched on these a little bit, but the Pikmin games. I wanted to make a note that Pikmin 1+2 came out this year.
Yeah.
Which was a nice surprise. I was a little annoyed that I had to wait so long to get the physical version because they had that stagger release, which they also did with my other honorable mention, Metroid Prime Remaster.
I'm like, I figured if you're talking about one remaster, you're going to talk about the other.
But yeah, 1+2, that was a lot of fun. I find playing through Pikmin 1 to be a very relaxing experience, and I love the how quickly can I do it this time aspect. It's a lot like Luigi's Mansion in that sense. Another game was like, okay, how fast can I go through this time? And I love that. Pikmin 2, I have spent less time with. I have played it on Switch. The removal of the branding stuff, it does have a bit of an impact on my enjoyment. I think the idea that it was planet Earth that you're on at one point really helps to, I don't know, give the game an extra like dimension or layer to the lore or the feeling of the environment.
So didn't they remove them in the Wii port as well, though?
I think that's true. I've never played the Wii version, though, to be fair. So I this was my first time, and I want to say that it's different for the Switch compared to the Wii, but I'd have to go back and actually be sure.
I don't think so, but like I also never played the original Wii version. I never played the Wii version either, so
Fair.
I couldn't tell you one way or the other like definitively.
And then Metroid Prime Remaster. This one might have actually been on my top 5, but I never did finish it. The classic Metroid problem for me of I get a certain ways through, I put it down for just a couple days, and then I can never seem to get back into it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it was really beautiful. And graphically, it's up there with Mario RPG as some of the best looking Switch games. And yeah, just a whole lot of fun. Maybe at some point I'll restart that one and give it, the full amount of attention that it deserves to be completed.
Because I also technically finished Metroid Prime as well this year, but the trilogy version of it.
Oh, sure.
So and I still haven't gone back to Prime 2 yet. I'll probably do that at some point this year. Hopefully I'll finish that in 3 before 4. I mean, I could say that, but I don't know. It'll probably be a few years till 4 even comes out anyway, so I've got time.
Certainly this will be the year.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let's take just a brief look forward to 2024. Nintendo got a lot of stuff cooking. Mario, Paper Mario, the new Princess Peach game we know about, potentially Metroid Prime 4, potentially.
Yeah, we'll see.
Switch 2, potentially, which, that's definitely been rumored.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. There's a lot to look forward to, a lot to talk about on the podcast, and we will be discussing that. As early as February, we could have our next Direct, and then we'll have a big bunch of news to discuss about on the show. So I think 2024 is looking good for Nintendo, OGP, and the world as a whole. And maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't go that far.
I think I might actually already have my game of the year though.
It is January 5th.
I know. Well, like, listen.
What
well,
is this? What is this man talking about? What
well,
is he on?
well, again, it's one I mentioned earlier, the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Sure.
Especially because I'm trying to avoid as much spoilers as I can, but like, there's a lot already that I know about, like, that's gonna be in this game. I'm like, this is gonna be insane. Like, there's a whole there's a whole like island you can go to that's basically like Animal Crossing.
Oh my god.
There's also basically they also bring essentially like pretty much like Pokemon elements too with the Suji mod.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like there's so much in this game. Like I'm like it's gonna be a dark horse, but I'm like it's very much I'm like I could see this at least being a good candidate for me for the game of the year.
Just wait till Mario vs. Donkey Kong HD releases. That'll change everything.
Man, you've got a point there, man.
That'll change everything. But for now, I think that's all we got to say. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.
Bye.